Yeah, yeah, yeah. The new album from UK band Cast has some great rock and roll soul and some awesome melodies worthy of singing and shouting at a music festival. But is it a little bit too repetitive for its own good? Let's break it all down on this edition of Rock Album Review. Hey everybody, it's Nick here with you. Welcome back to the channel. Yeah, yeah, yeah is the 8th studio album from Cast. It's the follow-up to 2024's Love is the Call. And it's kind of hard to say that album title in a review. Yeah, yeah, yeah. It just sounds silly anytime I try to say it. And anybody who watches this channel and knows me and sees the wall behind me knows that I'm a huge fan of British rock. But you know what? Cast are kind of a musical blind spot for me. Of course, I'm very familiar with their name, but I never listened to them back in the 90s, and I'm not really familiar with their catalog. But Cast are very highly regarded in the Brit rock world. They, along with Richard Ashcroft, were chosen to open up for Oasis on the UK and Ireland dates of the Live 25 tour, so they are very highly esteemed in the world of UK rock. And it's a big weekend for UK rock because Cast have their new album coming out, but also Coolest Shaker have their new album coming out this weekend called Worm Slayer. I'm going to review both albums here on the channel, but I'm very familiar with the music of Coolest Shaker and not so much with Cast. And I have to say, I'm slightly disturbed by this album cover where there's a giant gaping mouth. We can even see the fillings in there. Is that John Power's mouth? That's super creepy. And I did enjoy Yeah, Yeah, Yeah as an album for the most part. For my first Cast album, I feel like this was a good place to start. I know I'm 8 albums in, but you know, you need an entry point for any band when you're listening to their catalog. There are some really good songs on here, although some of them are a little overlong and a little repetitive. The immediate vibe that I got from this record was 60s rock, although a very different brand of 60s rock that you get from like a band like Coolest Shaker, who are more that late 60s psychedelic rock sound. With Cast, they have more of a Beatles, Kinks, Rolling Stones, early to mid 60s kind of sound. Before we continue, guys, if you like this review, you like this channel, make sure to toss me a thumbs up. I'd really appreciate that. And make sure to smash the subscribe button so you don't miss out on future rock album reviews and future videos. All right, let's get back to it. In addition to the actual band on this album, I love the soulful vocals courtesy of soul singer P.P. Arnold as a guest on songs like Poison Vine and Way It's Gotta Be. It was an element I wasn't expecting, but really enjoyed, almost like a Black Crowsy kind of thing. As a soul music fan, this was right up my alley and made these songs even better. And John Power has a nice grit to his voice as well. When I heard songs like Poison Vine and Calling Out Your Name, he immediately struck me as a mix of Richard Ashcroft meets John Lennon, and he has a lot of power in his voice in a lot of these tracks. What I also really enjoyed about Yeah, 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 still a weird album title to say, Yeah, 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 I really enjoyed the positive, uplifting vibe and sentiment in the lyrics on this album, and they have a very Oasis kind of vibe to me because Oasis is also positive and uplifting. They have that kind of same effect, and a lot of these songs are about love and understanding, kind of similar to Coolest Shaker with their new album this weekend. But on songs like Don't Look Away, Free Love, and others, there was a positive, uplifting theme to this album, which I really enjoyed. I can hear and see why Oasis chose Cast as one of their openers for the tour because they had that same anthemic, fist in the air feel. I can hear songs like Free Love being played at a festival or a big show and being sung by the crowd. Very big, anthemic, festival type music, especially on tracks like Free Love and others. And the album in general was a lot riffier than I expected. I didn't expect any really huge, big, hard rock riffs on a Cast record, but even this record sounded like Coolest Shaker in places. I feel like there was a lot of similarities between these two records. Poison Vine, Way It's Gotta Be, Weight of the World, all had a good dose of rock and roll soul on them. I do have to say that the album got weaker for me as I continued to listen. I thought it started out really strong. The first half of the album is pretty solid, but then towards the middle and the end, things started to slow down, maybe get a little bit less interesting. Say Something New, Teardrops, Devil and the Deep, which sounded like a sea shanty kind of song. Some of these songs struck me as being weaker than the tracks that led off the album, like Poison Vine. And some of the songs run a little bit too long. A lot of repeating choruses, a lot of riffing on the same things over and over again. Like, what album was I listening to? Be Here Now? I did like the last track on the album, though, called Birds Heading South. It reminded me of BDI and their song The Beat Goes On. It's a nice closer to the album, and I felt like in general, it lost steam towards the end. It wasn't as strong or groovy or as interesting as the first half of the album. Overall, I came away from Yeah 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 enjoying a few songs that I'm going to add to my 2026 playlist, but I don't really feel like I'm going to be becoming a huge Cast convert or anything, or a big fan. I don't know if I have enough interest to go back and listen to their other albums, but Yeah 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 was a decent enough listen. I really enjoyed it on first listen, so I'm going to give it a solid 3 out of 5. Favorite songs for me on Yeah 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 were Poison Vine, Don't Look Away, Free Love, and Way It's Gotta Be. But now it's your turn, guys. Let me know in the comments, what do you think of the new album from Cast called Yeah Yeah Yeah? Should I go back and listen to some of their past albums? Will I like it better than this one? I enjoyed this new record, but maybe there's some past records from Cast in their catalog that I would enjoy more and maybe make me a bigger fan of the band. That's where you come in. So hop into the comments below. Let me know what you thought of this album and give me your suggestions. If you like this video, make sure to toss me a thumbs up. I'd very much appreciate that. Make sure to smash the subscribe button so you don't miss out on future videos. And yeah, a big weekend for me reviewing new albums on the channel, reviewing the new album from Kula Shaker, Worm Slayer, that's already up on the channel, reviewing this new album from Cast, and reviewing an album by a band that I really love from New Zealand called Yumi Zuma, and their new album called No Love Lost to Kindness. So just filming a bunch of videos this weekend and having fun listening to new music. So thanks a lot for watching. Make sure to smash the subscribe button. Make sure to toss me a thumbs up. Very much appreciate that. And I'll see you guys again for another rock album review here on the channel. Until then, rock on, everybody.